Marc Thiessen, New Washington Post column with the title, "It's the 1970s all over again, and Joe Biden is the new Jimmy Carter." Marc Thiessen, Fox News contributor, former White House speechwriter, is in focus now. Marc, first of all, give me the highlights of where you think we are right now. I mean, we see that Jen Psaki in the White House at that lectern is struggling. The president isn't talking about it. We saw his backside again yesterday as he walked away from reporters.
Yeah. They are struggling, and I think the House Republicans are right that these are a direct result of deliberate policy choices by the Biden administration. I mean, look, we have a record 11 million unfilled jobs in this country. Never had more unfilled jobs before. Why is that? Well, one, it's because the government during the pandemic for over a year now has been shoveling out money to help people get through the lockdowns. Well, the lockdowns ended, but the government spending didn't. Joe Biden's first act when he came into office was to pass $1.9 trillion in social spending disguised as COVID relief, which paid people more not to work than they would have made working. As a result of that, personal savings rates are at an all-time high. Jason Furman was right in that quote that you played from him. People have lots of money. This personal savings rate, which is the amount of money you have after you've paid your taxes and after paid your bills that you exceed, is at all-time highs. And so what that means is people are not desperate to return to work. And, they have a lot of money they want to spend. And so the demand side of the economy is heating up. And the supply side can't keep up because they can't find workers to work at the ports, to work as long-haul truckers, to deliver the goods, to work in warehouses. And so that's resulting in shortages and inflation that people are paying all across the country. So we got to stop shoveling money out of the government money into the economy and let the supply side catch up with the demand side.
Tucker Carlson laid it out this way and what it means for Democrats.
The only reason Americans have put up with the endless woke garbage that the left churns out by the gallon is because they can afford to put up with it. People will tolerate a lot of things they disagree with as long as gas is cheap and the Amazon deliveries keep coming. Politics will look very different in a country with permanent shortages. And this may be an unpleasant surprise for the Democratic Party.
Ooh, that word permanent actually hurts.
Yeah. I don't think it's permanent, but I think it's going to be extended because of the policies we're putting in place. I mean, again, the personal savings, because the government spending was going on. Now the Biden administration is trying to pass another $3.5 trillion in social spending. That's just to put more government money into people's pockets. And by the way, also the vaccine mandates are forcing businesses to fire workers who are willing to work at a time when they can't find workers to replace them. And then you've got the problem with, as Tucker mentioned, the higher gas prices. That is a result of deliberate policy choices. The Biden administration declared war on fossil fuels. They have made clear that they intend to put the fossil fuel industry
day one
out of business. So we've got now only about 528 oil rigs pumping oil, which is half of what it was in 2019 under Trump. That's a result of when you tell a business you're going to put them out of business, they're not going to drill new wells. And Wall Street isn't going to invest in the fossil fuel
closed
industry.
The Keystone
so they're
pipeline.
Exacerbating that. And then
I mean, that was huge. That had such an effect on everything in terms of energy. I want to get to this real quickly. Biden's disapproval among VA voters is higher than either that of McAuliffe. We're going to move to that race right now because it's huge. And it adds to the list of things that's troubling this White House right now. New Fox polling shows Democrat Terry McAuliffe with a slight lead over Republican Glenn Youngkin in the race for Virginia governor. The numbers within the margin of error, so it's a statistical dead heat. The closeness of the race, driven by Youngkin's competitiveness on the economy and schools, two issues among the top concerns for Virginia voters. A majority believe parents should have a say in what their children are taught in schools. That's something McAuliffe dismissed just last week and was forced to take back or walk back after loads of outrage. The two candidates going after another on many issues, including education, critical race theory. Let's watch.
And he said, parents do not have a right to be telling schools what will be taught in school. He thinks that government should stand between parents and their children.
I'm a father of 5 children. Of course parents have a role in education. Glenn Youngkin talks about critical race theory. You know what? It's not taught in Virginia. And it's a racist dog whistle.
Despite what you just heard Terry McAuliffe say there, the Federalist is now reporting that newly unearthed documents reveal that during his tenure as Virginia's governor, McAuliffe's administration actively pushed public schools to teach CRT. What happens in this race? And early voting, we don't have all the numbers yet. It's already begun.
Oh, 100%. Look, if Terry McAuliffe, Virginia is a blue state, not a purple state. So if Terry McAuliffe wins, it's no big deal. He ought to win. The fact that the race is so close is what's frightening people. And if Glenn Youngkin wins this race, that is a seismic shift in an electorate, and it is a canary in the coal mine for Democrats on the upcoming midterm elections, because a new swing vote has emerged that I think is going to decide the 2022 election. That's school board moms. Moms who are just mad as hell about their children's education, what's happening, and are showing up in school boards to express those concerns. And what is the Democrats' response to this been? It's been to label them domestic terrorists and for the Biden administration to sic the FBI on them. I mean, how incompetent can you be? These suburban women are the reason Joe Biden is in the White House and Nancy Pelosi is Speaker of the House, because they are the ones. It was in 2018 and 2020, there was a big shift of college-educated suburban women away from the Republican Party to the Democratic Party. And today, the Democrats are doing everything they can to push those suburban women back into the GOP fold.
You know, quick before we go, what is your take on all that is going on with Joe Biden right now? And he has a vice president who can't even step in because she's got like 7 or 8 jobs that he's given her, saddled her with, and the border crisis, one of them, she can't get that under control. I mean, what's your thought on all of it?
I mean, it's incompetence. This is the second coming of the Carter administration on every front. They can't do their jobs. And, you know, we were talking about the port crisis before. You know, Pete Buttigieg is the transportation secretary. I know he's on paternity leave. I look, fatherhood is great. I've got 4 kids. I love my kids. There's nothing better than having children. But when you're the cabinet secretary, transportation secretary, when there's a port crisis, you don't leave your job. Can you imagine if Secretary Austin had left during the withdrawal?
Wow. Real quickly, we were scrolling all of the jobs of the vice president as you were kind of talking. So much needs attention, and neither one of them in the White House appears to be dedicated to it, at least to the point to talk to the American people and tell us what is going on. Marc Thiessen, have a fabulous weekend. Thank you.